All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a short and sweet guide on how you should spend your time, what things you should do from now until the Witch Queen. This will be for both beginners and for veteran players. I've been spending a lot of time creating this list, thinking about all the things that you should do from now until then. And the reason why I wanted to make this is because someone came into my chat today and they were like, hey, how do I level up and get to 1330 fast? And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, I'm trying to get ready for the Witch Queen. I'm like, no. You do not need to level up for the Witch Queen. The base power level is being raised to 1350, which means if you spend any time at all right now trying to get to 1330 or using materials, legendary shards, upgrade materials, etc., you're just wasting those things because the base level is just going to be raised to 1350. The floor is 1350, which is 20 above what it is right now, the highest right now, okay? So don't waste your time worrying about leveling right now. Instead, invest your time in some things that are going to pay back when the Witch Queen comes out. The first thing I'm going to mention are these paraversal halls, these containers. Now, what these do is these get you up to the soft cap right now in Destiny 2. And if it does work past 1350, which we don't know 100%, but it would seem like it will. A lot of people have made videos, a lot of people have made posts talking about this. It seems like these will be probably one of the more important things to save up. Save your paraversal halls. You can go to the horse in Xur's treasure hoard. You can pick these things up while using the strange coins. Save up as many of these things as possible. That's going to be like the number one most important thing. I'm going through the top 10 lists, but that's like the first one. And there's some of these things, it's going to depend on what you have. Some of you out there, you're crazy and you have like 20,000 legendary shards because you watched the video where I talked about the legendary shard bug at Spider and things like that. Some of you, maybe you don't have any legendary shards and you need some methods to farm them up and stuff like that. So this is going to be a video for everyone. First thing I'm going to say, though, is everyone needs to save up these paraversal halls. Save these bad boys up. Along with this, these treasure keys should do the same thing, but it would be specific to weapons. It's not going to be nearly as important, I think, but if it does work in the same way and it helps you get to the soft cap, saving these things is going to be really nice and very important in leveling up to 1500 really fast, which is something that you're going to want to do. It's just going to feel nice to level up faster than the average people. I mean, your time investment is important to you, right? You don't want to be spending more time than you have to leveling up. Leveling up fast to 1500 feels really nice. So save those two things. Paraversal Hall, treasure keys, that's number one, that's number two. Number three is going to be bounties. Now, I am by no means a bounty hoarding expert. I do know that the weekly bounties give you more XP and you want to focus on those much more than daily bounties. So you should go through and do the weekly bounties at all the vendors, minus the ones that are getting sunset, like obviously Tangled Shore and things like that. Stay away from that. But overall, you do want to save bounties, and I play a ton of PvP, so I'm just hoarding a bunch of trials and crucible bounties, so keep that in mind. Moving on to the next one, we're going to go into spoils. Now, what you can do with spoils of conquest, and the reason why this is one of the most important things to farm up tons of spoils, you get these most efficiently by killing the Templar on regular mode of Vault of Glass. Just redo that checkpoint over and over and over again. You can continue to do the raids in their entirety if you want. Just make sure you don't buy anything from the chest at the end, but you just beat that checkpoint a ton and you will farm these up really, really, really fast. You can get 240 in your inventory, and then what you can do is you can continue to farm them and they will go to your postmaster. Be careful though. Allow them to go to your postmaster, but don't allow your postmaster to get full or they'll get pushed out and all that time will be wasted. So be extra careful with that, please. Big warning, you don't want to lose a 240 stack of spoils sitting in your postmaster. That would be very painful. You can have a stack of 240 in all three postmasters, in your Titan, your Hunter, Warlock, all three characters, and on your inventory. So that gives you like a grand total of, I think, 960 spoils. Now, there's no way that Bungie's going to create a new currency to farm the Witch Queen loot. I highly doubt that. That would be insane. Especially all the raids follow the same method. I would be willing to bet that the new Witch Queen raid, you'll be able to farm loot at the end with the spoils of conquest. If I'm wrong, go ahead, feel free to roast me, but I would be willing to bet that you can do that. So you should save up as many of these as possible. 960 would be amazing. Could you imagine if there's some crazy hand cannon or shotgun or sniper in the Witch Queen raid, and when you get to the chest, you have 960 spoils? You could get like dozens of you could get the god roll day one, you know, and that might spoil the fun of grinding, but getting the god roll before everyone else feels really nice because then you get to take that thing in a PvP or you're taking PvE, you get to melt strike, you get to run through strikes with it, whatever it may be, and everyone's like, whoa, I can't believe you have that weapon, that's so crazy. You'll have weapons that have newer perks on them, you'll get to try them out before everyone else. Trust me, saving up these spoils is really important. The next thing I'll go over is that there is methods of getting glimmer from the spider right now, and that should transfer over to the cryptarch. But if it doesn't, one thing that I regularly like to do is I like to pull these ships out when I get to hit 250,000 glimmer. I pull these ships out of collections. We'll go right here, go to equipment, go to ships, and I'll pull one out of collections, the scrap right here. It costs me 7,500 glimmer and 5 legendary shards. And if I pull this out of collections, I have not enough space to do so right now, but if I pull it out of collections and I dismantle it, it will give me back 5,000 glimmer. And so what happens is, new expansion, and you just blow through a ton of glimmer because you have to buy something or something happens, right? And if I ever need any glimmer, it's nice to just have a few of these ships in the vault. I save, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20 of them just in case I need a stack of glimmer. But obviously, again, the spider has glimmer currency. We don't know what those changes are going to be like. We don't know what the Cryptarch's glimmer demands are going to be. So, decide if you want to do this or not. This is something I like to do. And this came, I've been doing this for a long time now. The next thing I'll talk about are Ascendant Shards. Having a nice stack of Ascendant Shards will be helpful. I obviously have been using mine quite a bit for farming god rolls from the Cryptarch and stuff like that. And so my legendary shards are not as impressive as some. Some people are out there with 30,000, 40,000 because of the various different bugs that I've covered before. And there might be another legendary shard bug with the Witch Queen launch. If there is, of course, I'll be letting you know about that. But having a good stack of these is important. What you can do to get these, obviously there's a variety of anything you can farm where you can get these. You can turn in your gunsmith materials and get a bunch of weapons, dismantle them. You'll get legendary shards. You can go through your vault and delete a lot of different trash weapons. That tends to be something that most people need to do anyways, is go through their vault, clear it out, and you'll get a bunch of legendary shards. I would recommend having a good, healthy stack of those. Next up, we'll talk about planetary materials. I would recommend having a bunch of planetary materials, just however many you can afford. It's going to be different for everyone. Maybe you can only have 200 of each type. Maybe you can have 1,000 of each type. My friend, he's a hardcore grinder. He has like 3,000 of each type. Obviously, you don't need to pay attention to the locations that are being removed, tangled shore and stuff like that, but keep that in mind and continue to have as many planetary materials as you can. Along with this, Ascendant Shards will be important. Obviously, there's new exotic armor pieces. You're going to want to upgrade those. Having a few Ascendant Shards sitting around will be helpful to you. I think most people probably have a few of these, though. Moving on to the next part is get god rolls of weapons that are leaving. We already mentioned this. The Azumi Sniper is leaving, so when that comes back in rotation, and we have also the Multi-Mach is leaving, and the Iron Banner will be the last week before the Witch Queen. So get those god rolls before they're gone, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And then at the exotic kiosk, I will go over a few exotics that are definitely worth noting here. Looking through this first phase right here, there's nothing too crazy here that I think you wouldn't miss out on. Moving on to the next part. The Sleeper was not too bad, though. I really wanted to mention, especially in this one right here, the Ariana's Vow will be really, really nice for barrier champions. It's always really solid for that. The Wither Horde is really, really good. I would definitely recommend, if you don't already have those, which I think most of you probably do, definitely go and get those exotics before the Witch Queen. Could be worth your time. And, my personal checklist on the similar note of exotics is I'll be finishing up a bunch of my catalysts that I've just been leaving sitting around. So that's my personal grind. That's what I'm doing. Let me know in the comments below if you think I've missed anything that's big or important that the majority of the player base could really benefit from. And as they spend their last few weeks, a lot of you are probably burnt out. Maybe you want to play some other games. That's fine. But some of us, the hardcore, the grinding types, we want to gear up and get ready for the Witch Queen. Let me know in the comments below what you think I may have missed out on. I tried to come up with a very thorough list. I asked, all various different people in my community what they thought of, and this was the top 10 list that I could come up with. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.